Previously on the Fellguard. The group decided to split up after having your bodies swapped and arriving back in Dawnspire. Xerus and Voxy went to try to figure out how to swap bodies back. And meanwhile, Pepper and Oliver went on their dates, figuring it would probably be better to just buy time rather than reschedule everything. Xerus and Voxy traveled to a magic shop called the Laughing Skull, where they were given ingredients to collect for the spell. And Pepper and Barum went to the theater, both of them grabbing drinks in order to help sort of alleviate some of the awkwardness. Oliver and Sarah made their way inside, and Sarah took Oliver backstage to meet an actor friend of theirs. During this encounter, another actor, Alara Vale, an Air Genasi, referred to Oliver in Pepper form as Nora and asked how they've been. And when Oliver responded, "I don't know who you are," Alara said, "That's no way to speak to your mother." She then told Oliver as Pepper that she was going to send for Pepper later tomorrow for a lunch so they could catch up a little bit. Pepper was called back to the lobby later on by two men who then cut off two of their fingers as Oliver. These men told Pepper that Eltorin Harlow wants his money and they're going to keep coming back until Oliver pays up. And Pepper managed to escape, but only just barely. Voxy and Xerus went down to the market to search for Jetstone, a small little jet black stone that was needed by simply yelling the word jet over and over again in the market. And when that didn't work, they went to a jewelry stand run by an old crone who they promptly stole the jet from. And they were walking away when an orange blur suddenly came down and stole the jet from them. And they look up to see a golden lion tamarin, a flying monkey that was, let's see here. A golden lion tamarin that took the jetstone, flew off with it, and then after tracking down the creature, it went over into a clock tower overlooking the market. When they got there, they noticed that the flying monkey is a male and was alone except for two babies that it was caring for. Voxy, knowing that this is fairly uncommon, remembered that there was an exotic pets vendor that who had another golden lion tamarin in a cage, and traveling down to release all the animals, taking the cage back up to the clock tower and freeing the flying monkey, and then in that moment stole the jet back while the two monkeys were embracing in a beautiful hug. Meanwhile, Sarah and Oliver got into a little bit of an argument that ended with Oliver as Pepper telling Sarah that they aren't sure how they feel about Pepper. Sarah left on with those news, leaving to head back to the Fellguard, and Barum unfortunately had a panic attack in the theater after seeing the battle scene and being taken back to the attack on the Fellguard earlier that week. Pepper and Oliver both helped him through the attack in the lobby, and then as the show let out, Xerus and Voxy arrived, and the group all swapped bodies back to their original selves just in time for Melinda Bellissimo, Oliver's manager, coming up demanding to know where he had been and saying that he is wasting a perfect opportunity to make some money. And then after every single one of them, our group slapped Melinda. She then realized she was fired and stormed off, saying that Oliver was going to fail spectacularly. And at that moment, Oliver learned about Harlow's thugs hurting Pepper and suddenly left to go hunt Harlow down. We ended the session with Oliver alone, hearing the bells ringing at the Fellguard, signaling that a new leader had been chosen. So we're not going to actually start with Oliver. We're going to start our story with Xerus, Pepper, and Voxy. You guys are in Dawnspire. It's late at night. You can see that the arcane lanterns are sending this like strange orange glow in the streets. It's a little misty. The cool air is it's getting colder and colder as the night is coming. And you all have a moment to chat. What's the plan here?
So, what happened, Pepper? What did we miss?
I mean, I don't really know Oliver's side of the story, but what happened with me was well, at one point during the show, some guys were like, the like attendant guy was like, "Hey, you have to come with me. There's someone that wants to see you." And I like had to go, and then it was the two thugs, and they like tried to beat the shit out of me for the money that Oliver owes. This guy named they said his name was Elterin Harlow, like Mr. Harlow, and then they got to my fingers before I could get away. And then Barham had a panic attack. But he's fine now, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Xeris. Wow.
Wow. Sorry, I didn't mean to make light of that, but Jesus.
How much money does he owe?
700 gold.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you guys have any pocket change.
Well, we just spent it on the spell to swap us back.
No.
So we're a little light on money at the moment.
That's fair.
Okay. Well, do you know where they are? Like where we can find? Because I feel like if Oliver's got off to find him, we
I
gotta
don't
go
know.
Oliver.
Do we think Oliver's going to do something stupid?
It's
Yeah.
Oliver. Yeah.
I mean, I think he's just in a bad spot, mentally, emotionally, and also physically right now. So I don't think he's going to make great decisions.
True.
Yeah.
Well, if he is, we need to be there to back him up.
Any ideas where he may be?
Don't know.
Do we know anything about this Harlow guy? Would we know anything about this?
I don't think so. I think if anyone did, it might be Voxy, but I'm going to have her roll history with disadvantage. This is not a world that you all spend a lot of time in.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any. 14?
Okay. You've heard the name before, but it is not necessarily like outside of just knowing that he is a part of a large cabal of like bad dudes, for lack of a better term. He's part of a major extortion racket that goes through Dawnspire. You don't know where he's located. You have just simply heard the name kind of uttered in some circles, specifically around the Knights of the Fellguard. You don't know what he looks like. You don't know where he operates out of. You just simply know that, like, kind of the mythos of his, like, who he is.
So, I mean, maybe to find out more about a shady character, we gotta go find some other shady characters.
I know a shady character. I know a shady character who does weird shit with money sometimes.
Is it your
Alan would
roommate?
know.
I don't. Well, he's not. He's a good person now, but I feel like maybe he would at least know a little bit more. I don't
We're all
know.
aware of
Sometimes
what
he's
he
really
used to do.
useful.
I'm down. I don't really think we have any other options or leads, so I'm happy to go talk to Callan and see what he knows about this guy, and maybe he knows where he's hiding, and then we'll know where to find Oliver.
Yeah, for sure.
The three of you begin walking, your footsteps echoing on the cobblestone. And we are going to now cut over to Oliver. Oliver, you've been walking for some time. Your feet are exhausted. Your sort of strength of will right now is the only thing that's sort of propelling you forward. Your anger is bubbling up inside you, and you look up and you are at the front entrance to the Fellguard.
Perfect. And there's like people. Like
Yeah.
there's about to be an announcement of a new
There's
leader, right? Okay.
So there's already been an announcement. The bells that you heard
Yeah,
were
okay.
the signaling of the announcement. So when you arrive, There's a bunch of people who are out in front, and you can see that there are large banners that are hanging down, large green and gold banners that are hanging down off of the side of the Fellguard that say, welcome back. And then it has an image of Kashar.
Okay. All right. Good for him. All right. I'm gonna acknowledge that, and then head down and start heading back into the heading into the place, trying to find Callan.
Okay, give me a perception check.
That is a 15.
Okay. Takes you a little bit of time, but in the crowd of people, you spot him. They don't seem to be having like any kind of like formal party or event. This is like people showed up for the announcement, and are just starting to like slowly spread out. You arrive in the grand hall. In the distance, you can see the new garden that was recently built earlier this week at the funeral. And sitting on a bench talking with a group of people, you can see Callan, his cane sitting right next to him, and he seems excitedly engaged in conversation with some other merchants and nobles of the like.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna stride over and say, Callan, I need to talk to you.
He looks over and says, can you excuse me, gentlemen? And he with purpose sort of stands up with his cane and slowly limps over to you and says, Oliver, where's the rest of your company?
I need something.
All right. What can I do you for?
I need to know where to find El Terrell Harlow.
He pauses, and you see him like catch his breath when you say that. And he looks around, grabs you by the shoulder, and pulls you into the garden itself. You walk through some of the across this like small trail that leads towards the little pool of water. And when you get there, he turns you to face him and says, now, where did you hear that name?
You don't need to worry about where I heard it. You just need to tell me where he is.
What is this, Oliver? Where's everybody else? Is Pepper okay?
You don't need to worry about that. Pepper is fine, and I'm working to keep it that way. Please tell me where he is.
Oliver, this is not like you.
Yeah, I wish that were true. Where is he?
Are you trying to intimidate him, or are you just trying to persuade him?
Persuade, I think.
Okay, give me a persuasion check.
That is an 11.
He goes, El Torin Harlow runs an extortion racket on the first tier. He is a very powerful man. If you're trying to find him alone, I can only imagine what you owe him.
Okay. Where on the first tier?
He describes the like one of the sort of like mercantile districts that's down there. Honestly, not far from the market that Xeris and Voxy just visited.
Okay.
He describes it as a house, almost a shop of sorts that exists down there. Gives you an exact, pretty much an exact address.
Thank you very much, Callan. You've been incredibly helpful. I have one more favor to ask of you.
All right.
Please inform Pepper that the lead actor in the play we saw this evening would like to have lunch with her daughter Nora and is coming soon.
Okay, I will.
Thank you. And then I start heading towards the armory.
He grabs you by the arm and goes,
Can I pull free?
Yeah, give me a combated strength check. Wow.
Yikes. Only an 11.
Better than him. You pull away
Okay.
and he falls down in the park.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Thank you for your help.
He grabs himself and begins to climb back up onto his feet. Are you leaving or are you helping him up?
Yeah, I'm on a mission. I got stuff to do.
All right. You head over towards the direction of the armory, and you see going down a couple flights of stairs, going down some hallways. The interior of the Fellguard, outside of the main hall, is pretty vacant of people. When you arrive at the armory, it's a large door that has a key, and you can see that the door has recently been replaced, having been kicked in earlier in the week.
Nice. It's locked, isn't it?
It is.
All right. Okay, this is not a variable that I had planned for. Who would have a key?
Well, at that moment, you hear footsteps. And coming around the corner is Kashar. He walks down and you see that he has a small drink in his hand. He takes a sip of it. And he sees you standing by the armory and he stops and goes, Oliver?
Lord Master, congratulations. I'm not really sure what to call you.
Just Kashar is fine. I feel like you've earned that. Hell, we fought side by side.
We did.
What do you need out of the armory?
I am preparing to go on a mission and was hoping to gather a few extra supplies.
Okay. Here, let me grab it for you. He walks over to the door, pulls out a key, and opens the door. And you can see that inside there's, standard supplies, some short swords. You can see some long swords, some bows, short bows, etc. But then on the far end, there is a cage, right? That has another padlock on it. And inside here, you can see that there is a lot more stronger, heavier duty weapons. You can see that there's a two-handed polearm, a glaive type weapon. There's some plate armor that's hung up on the wall. And you can see that there are rows of javelins and spears that are locked up as well. He looks over at the short swords.
I point at the cage.
You're trying to get in there.
I'm hunting something much bigger than me.
Technically, I can't authorize the use of this level of armor and weapons outside of a contract, and seeing how we haven't let out any contracts this week, I can't imagine that you'd be hunting a monster right now.
Depends on your definition of monster, I suppose.
Give me a persuasion check.
Nat 20!
He looks at you and goes, well, unfortunately, you are still designated as a hunter. So, in other words, Oliver Shakestaff, please kneel. And he grabs a short
What?
sword off of the
okay.
off of the wall. And he walks up to you and he says, "Do you pledge to hunt the darkness, protect the innocent, and defend the realm against all monstrous threats?"
For the rest of my life.
Do you, with unwavering courage and unyielding strength, pledge to serve the Fellguard, upholding the legacy of the champions before you?
Yes.
And do you pledge to uphold the tenets of the Fellguard, live by them, and do everything in your power to preserve their truths?
Yes.
Then, in the name of honor, justice, and the eternal fight against the night, I dub thee Oliver Shakestaff, champion of the Fellguard. And he puts his sword over your shoulder and says, "Now," and he goes and he unlocks the cage and says, "You can set your own contracts." And he tosses you a javelin.
Excuse the fuck out of me.
Who are we hunting?
Pardon?
I said, who are we hunting, Oliver?
He goes by Harlow.
All right. And this Harlow, where can we find him?
In the Mercantile District on the first tier.
Okay. If we leave now, we can catch him in the middle of the night. Hopefully that they'll be either in the middle of some revelry, or hopefully we'll catch them when they're least expecting it. He he grabs some plate armor and tosses it over in your direction. It hits you hard in the chest.
Oh.
Come
With
on,
all due
champion.
respect, I sincerely appreciate your desire to help me. It means a lot coming from you. I'm not sure that this is something that you should come with me on, just given the nature of your new position.
I'll be fine.
No, I know that physically. I don't think that this person is someone that you want on your ledger as the leader.
I'm sorry, Oliver, did you not just pledge to hunt the darkness, protect the innocent, and defend the realm against all monstrous threats?
Okay. Yeah, I guess I did.
No, let's go.
Okay.
We're wasting time.
I'm gonna load up, armor up as much as I can. Get that glaive, get the javelins. Just like is there like a javelin quiver that I could just like? Whoosh?
Yeah, it's basically you have like a set of 5 that are in almost like little tiny holders on like a metal or a leather strap on your back that you can just quickly pull them out and throw them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And then I'm just gonna take that bent up metal that we got for saving the world 5 years ago. I'm just gonna put it down on a table.
Okay. All right. So you head out with Kashar, walking through the crowd, and of course everybody like sort of moves around you as you two leave the space. He goes out a side door and you all disappear into the darkness and the fog of the night. We cut back now to Xeris, Voxy, and Pepper. This point you're arriving at the Fellguard.
Pepper, do you know where Callan would be?
I have a sixth sense for Callan. I set off in a random direction. Callan?
You look up as you see
Start
the banners
shouting.
in front of you, and you can see the welcome back banners that celebrate Kashars rise to the leader of the Fellguard. The like illusionary magic used to create this is showing him almost like a 3/4 profile, and he looks very regal.
Oh, good for him.
Question, Jordan. How
Yeah.
long would it normally take them to select a leader for the Fellguard? Because this seems
So
fast.
the last time they did it took them 6 months.
That's what okay. So I would know that.
Ah.
Okay.
And how long did this take?
1 week.
A week. I know it's been a week. That's why I was like,
Very normal.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very chill and very normal. Pepper, you push through the crowd as people are basically running into you. You're following your nose, not really by scent, but just following, see where it goes, and roll a d20 for me.
Okay. Nat 20. Give me my roommate, please.
You go straight over to the bar where you see Calland is leaning on the bar and he has a glass of red wine that he's drinking. At this point, the group is starting to die down a little bit. The everything that's happening in the main hall here has sort of left. You see him, and he looks over at you, and we might have to get Oliver back. He looks so perturbed. You see Calland, and he's sitting there, and he's taking a sip of the wine. And when he sees you, he looks over and puts his glass down and starts immediately walking to you to meet you in the middle.
I give him a big hug after today.
He gives you a big hug back.
Oh no.
Calland, how are you? Are you okay? Are you good?
I'm fine. What's gotten into Oliver?
Oh, Calland. Was he here?
He was. He asked me some pretty dangerous information, then he left all sudden.
Did he ask you about, a bad man?
He asked me about Eltorin Harlow. This is not
Yeah.
someone that you need to be messing around with.
We're already... Calland, Oliver's in very bad debt with him. Can't let him go off on his own.
Damn it. How familiar are y'all with Eltorin?
we know nothing.
Nothing.
Well, if you're doing business in Dawnspire, you've definitely heard of Eltorin Harlow. He's, many businesses have lost a foothold in this city because of him. He forces you to pay for protection that you don't need, and then if you don't pay up, he uses his thugs to damage your property. It's also spread out to loans for people who can't afford the things that they need, and he's using it to force them to pay an incredible amount of interest on these loans. It is near impossible to pay back your loan fully to Eltorin. If Oliver is talking with him, I think he means to go meet him. That is not going to end well for Oliver. If he walks in there alone, guns
I know.
blazing.
We've realized that. We just need to back him up because we can't stop
already-
him.
They took 2 of his fingers. Technically, they took 2 of mine. We were body swapped. It was a whole thing. But it was Oliver's body.
I'm sorry. Never mind. We'll get to that when we get to that.
Where did you send him?
I told him where to find him. He seemed like he wouldn't take no for an answer. If you head on down to the market over on the first tier, there's a house nearby. You'll know it's the house because it's got bars on the windows. If you go quick, you might be able to catch him.
We'll go now.
Yeah. We have to get after him.
But Oliver
watch
wouldn't
out.
just go.
I don't think Oliver's thinking correctly.
He seemed mighty perturbed.
Would he just go straight there?
I'm really worried he would.
I mean, even if he doesn't, if we beat him there, we can stop him before he goes in alone.
It's true. Well, let's not let anything stop us. Let's go.
All right. Be safe. And he makes direct eye contact with you, Pepper. Gives you a little reassuring nod.
Okay.
3 of you head out down towards the first tier. Now, you know that traveling between tiers usually involves, like, taking these large staircases, especially by foot. Unless you're taking a cart, carts take a lot longer. And as you make your way, what's going through your head? Voxy, we'll start with you.
I'm trying to game plan of what I will do when we find him. If we find him in the middle of confronting this person, what we do if we find Oliver having already found him and been unsuccessful, which is kind of where my head is mostly at, is that's the most likely, is that I'm scared we're gonna find Oliver dead, because he went and rushed this guy alone.
Yeah. Xeris, you're walking. Voxy is keeping good pace with you as you're going, and you're walking very silently, like you usually do. What's going through your head right now?
This is, to me, I think this is just an extension of what I saw coming like 2 episodes ago. In a way where I was like, he almost did something very dumb when we were all together, and he went and he was acting rash. I called him out on it, and he kind of denied it, and I was trying to keep this from happening. So this is kind of like, I feel like the pot boiling over, as it were. And like, I don't know, I guess he doesn't know what exactly he's going to have to do to stop him from literally getting himself killed. Short of throwing himself in front of whatever's happening.
Do you feel like a fight is coming on? Not necessarily between Oliver and who he's going for, but between you all and Oliver?
Not necessarily. I'm not going to fight him, but I will physically, or I guess not. If I have to stop him physically, I will. But I'm all, and it's like, and I guess in his head, he's like, I'm all for killing a bad dude that sucks.
Yeah.
But like, this is not the way to go about it.
Definitely not. Pepper, you are a couple steps behind Xeris and Voxy. You feel the chill in the air as you are walking along the cobblestones, passing by these white building walls and the stone-cut architecture around you. And as you are descending past the second tier and into the first tier, what's going through your head?
I'm very nervous that Oliver seems to be a good deal ahead of us, and that he's going to do something really silly. I'm very worried if he starts a fight that I am very low on spells.
Yeah.
So
you guys haven't had a rest yet.
So I'm not really doing sick in that department.
Yeah.
I think I also feel somewhat responsible for the catalyst being that those fingers that were lost, and feeling like maybe if I got away sooner, or I had realized what was happening earlier, then this confrontation would not be happening as it is.
Okay. You reach down and you touch the 2 fingers, your pinky and your ring finger on your left hand, and you can still feel the feeling of them being cut. The feeling of the blade going through your skin, cutting the sinew and going all the way into the table, and that searing pain that was blinding. And you shiver slightly, this faint chill in the air, and you continue forward. We're going to cut over to Oliver. Oliver, you and Kashar have reached the first tier. And in the darkened streets here, you can see a building. It's a mix of weathered stone and old, dark timber with iron bars that are covering these like small, grimy windows. At the very, very front, there is like a heavy reinforced door, and you can see from your distance that there are 2 guards who are standing out in front of it. They look to be in plain clothes, but they are just like, this is clear that they are guarding this door. You see as Kashar comes up next to you, peeks around the corner that you're peeking from, and says, I'll take the right, you take the left.
I think it would probably be pertinent to scout the location first.
All
There
right.
might be another way in. You circle around that way, I'll circle around this way.
Okay. He goes the direction that you gesture, and he basically fades away into the mist. Where do you go?
And then once he is gone, I'm gonna walk up to those 2 guards.
Okay.
Good evening.
They look down at you, standing almost a full head's height above you. And their arms are crossed, and they look down, and they just sort of give you like a...
I would like to speak to Harlow, please.
He says, what's your name?
My name is Oliver Shakestaff.
The other guard like whispers something to the other one, and he goes, right, one moment. He goes and he walks inside, and the guard in front of you stands there. The door opens up behind him, and the second guard who left arrives back and says, okay, right this way. And he leads you into the room. What are you going to do?
Walk after him.
Okay. You walk onto the ground floor, and you can see that it's divided into 2 distinct sections. On one side to your left, there's a large like garage-like space where various carts and wagons are stored. There's also workbenches that are strewn with like tools, spare parts, and other stolen goods. And then to your right, there is a like storage space that is full of like what looks to be stolen materials. Shelves, crates, and everything line the walls, filled with goods that were acquired through either force or intimidation. There's also a large wooden counter that stands at the center here. You can see that there's a back door on the back wall. The guard leads you up a narrow staircase that's right in the center of this room that leads to the top floor of this two-story building. And when you get up there, the office space here is surprisingly well kept. There's heavy curtains. There's a large oak desk with like a throne-like chair that commands this main room. You can see that the chair is currently turned around to face the window that's right behind it. Looking on the walls, you can see that there's like maps of the city, and they're marked with various points of interest that cover the walls. And then back to the like left of the desk, there is a large painting of a bull being killed in a bullfight. Connected to this office, you can
okay.
see there's a couple other like smaller rooms that are here. The guard walks you in and says, Mr. Harlow, we have Oliver Shakestaff here. And the chair turns around, and you get your first look in a long time at Eltorin Harlow. He stands up from his chair, and you can see that he is a tall and slender elf. He walks over around the desk and leans against it and says, "Well, Mr. Shakestaff, you here to pay up?"
See, here's the thing, Harlow. I don't have your money. And I think you and I both know I'm never going to be able to get your money. But here's the thing that you don't know. Because I don't even think you realize that you did this. But in your search, whatever it was that you wanted to get out of me, you hurt my friends. And I can't let that stand. So you and I are going to finish this right now.
Are we? And what are you going to do? Threaten me with your little knife? You think you're the first person to come in here and kill me?
What?
He, that was a first person to come in here and try to kill me. That's
Oh,
what
okay.
I meant to say. He's not a vampire. That's not a thing.
I
was so ready.
He looks at you and he wraps his hand on his desk twice. And the doors to your right open up and you see a couple large men come in. The door behind you opens up and another thug opens the door, comes in, and give me a strength saving throw with disadvantage.
Ooh. I have a 16.
Okay. So you watch as
That plus 7 strength, baby.
Let's go. These two guards grab you by the shoulder and try to basically take control of you, but you're able to push them off just in that moment. As you fight away from them, you hear the sound of blades being drawn behind you, as there are currently 4 other people in this room, and also El Torin. He goes and backs up behind his desk to watch the 4 men go after you. Let's go ahead and let's start fighting. What are you doing?
I'm going to whip this big ass glaive around. Is there anybody that's within like the 10-foot reach of this thing?
Oh yeah, there's 2 guys right next to you.
All right, so I'm gonna start by just going in like a big circle and whip, and just try to
Go
cut
ahead and
some
roll to
guys.
hit.
First one is a what is my plus hit modifier? Ah, that's the spells page. Ah, there we go. First hit is a 23.
Okay, that's certainly gonna hit. Roll damage.
That is an 11.
Okay, so you take your glaive and you spin it up around you before you cut down to your left. And as you do, you feel the blade cut across this guy's chest. These guys aren't wearing armor. They are pretty much just wearing like leather merkins, basically. And as you cut across, there's this huge like explosion of blood that blasts out of this guy's chest as he collapses to the ground. You spin your blade around, shoving the blunt end at the one to your right. Go ahead and roll to hit for him as well.
I'm actually really glad that you said the blunt end, because I think I am going to use, if we're doing like normal rules with this, my bonus action backhand swing of this. That's going to be a 21.
21's gonna hit. Roll damage.
Right. That one is only 6.
6. Okay, so you take the blunt end and you clock this guy right in the center of his face. You feel a crunch as his nose goes underneath it. You can see his blood pours out of his nose as he reels back, clutching against the wall. The other 2 guys that are in here are going to try and swing at you in this moment. First one rolls a natural 19. Second one is going to roll a, let me add their modifier, a 17. What's your AC?
My AC is 18.
18. Okay, so only one of them is going to hit as you feel this. It's going to be 4 points of damage as a short sword stabs you in the side as the other one swings ahead. You block it with your glaive, and you feel this blade inch closer and closer through your armor, catching you right in the rib cage. There is a sound of a door being kicked in behind you, and you see a blur as a large green half-orc runs in, grabs the man who is stabbing you by the face, lifting them up with one fell swoop and crunching their face into the corner of the room. You hear a crunch like a watermelon. He turns and you see that there is blood that has splattered onto his face, and he says, "Don't lie to me again." And then he turns towards the rest of the people who are in the room. What are you doing?
Okay, so he just crunched the guy that was right next to me, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to take the glaive and go for whoever is the next closest guy, and then whether I kill him or not, leaving it there, and then drawing my shield out.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
That one's only an 11.
That's gonna miss, unfortunately. Or no, that hits, meets it, beats it. You go ahead and roll damage.
That one is 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay, so the one that you is right in front of you. You stab the glaive, and it goes deep into this guy's thigh as he goes down, and you hear the crunch as the glaive cuts through, stabbing into the wood below. He tries to move, and you just hear the of the glaive as he is struggling to stand back up. You hear as the one next to you to your right, the one who has the broken nose, is going to try and grab onto you. You grab your shield up over your shoulder. What's your AC now?
Now it's 20.
20. He just rolled a nat 20, so that's absolutely going to get you. So in terms of total, that's going to be 10 points of damage as a short sword cuts across your stomach as you turn around, just able to glance off a good bit of the damage with the shield. You hear as Kashar moves up next to you, grabbing the guy who is next, like the guy who just stabbed you. He runs, grabs his shoulder, pulling him down and swinging him into the one who is impaled with the glaive. The two of them get knocked against the wall, and you hear a tearing sound as the glaive stays and he gets pushed away.
Oh. Yikes.
They're not dead, but they're currently fighting Kashar. What are you doing?
I'm gonna now use my other bonus, like this round bonus action, to summon the spear.
Okay.
And then
the spear appears in your hand.
I'm gonna to Kashar. You really shouldn't be here, sir. And then just jump in full on, like 300 jumping stab.
Okay, give me an acrobatics check.
Where's my acrobatics? Oh, I see. That's a 17.
17. Okay, so you clear the desk easily. Go ahead and give me an attack roll with advantage here because you cleared the desk.
That would be a 25? 25.
Certainly gonna hit. Go ahead and roll damage, my friend.
That is gonna only be 5 damage.
Okay, so you you stab the spear, you hear it slam into his chest as he goes flying backwards, slamming against the window. The glass behind him breaks, and you can see that the metal bars hold fast. You can see as the blade of the spear is jutting out of his chest, and next to you, you hear Kashar finishing the other two. You look back over your shoulder just in time to see as he has grabbed one of them by the top of his jaw and the other by his bottom of the jaw and pulls apart hard.
Oh.
He looks over at you and sees El Torin, and he walks over to you as you've got this blade in his chest. Oliver, give me a perception check.
That is a 22.
You can see people out the window. 3 figures have just run into the courtyard.
No! Innocent bystanders. They need to leave.
You can see that it's Xeris, Pepper, and Voxy.
Oh no.
You watch as Kashar walks up next to you and says, "What are you doing? Don't hesitate. You're a champion, Oliver. Act like it." You pull through his chest, and you see a dumping of viscera pour out of his stomach as Eltorin collapses to his knees, blood gurgling out of his mouth. He looks up at you, and you can see that there are tears in his eyes.
I'm gonna lean down and I'm just gonna say, I may not have been the first person to try. I'm the first to succeed. By the shaft.
And how do you finish him?
So he's like on his way out, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get down and just show him my hand and just hold it right there. And just watch him fade.
You reach down with one hand and you hold it up against his throat and you slowly squeeze. And you hold your other hand up and reveal what you've got. And you watch as his eyes bulge out of his head. And you watch as his face begins to turn pale. And then he slowly falls to the side. You feel a hand on your shoulder as Kashar helps you stand back up. And he taps you on the shoulder and says, "You did well. That bastard just would have hurt more people if you had not done what you did."
Yeah.
Come on.
Let's
go downstairs.
Yeah.
He leads you downstairs, and as you go, you see the numerous amounts of bodies that were working downstairs when you first entered. You can see that there are shreds of people down here. You make it to the door, and you open it up, and you see Xeris, Pepper, and Voxy staring at you. Oliver, you are covered in blood. And Kashar walks out.
Did we miss it?
It's over.
Oliver, what the fuck did you do?
He did what was necessary.
Oliver, are you hurt, or does anyone need healing? I can heal. That's the thing I can do.
Pepper. I'm fine. Seriously. Thank you.
Okay.
Are you sure you're fine?
So all that blood is other people's.
Can someone tell me why the new head of the Fellguard is here, or...
Oliver seemed like he was in trouble, and I stepped in to help.
Stepped in to help do what?
Get rid of his trouble.
I didn't know that was something that the Fellguard, or that that you guys did. Okay. Out of game question.
Yeah.
These shreds of people, these bodies that you said are all here.
Yeah.
How long does it seem like they've been there?
The remains. You've studied a lot of monster attacks. This would be a fresh kill for sure. And when I say shreds of people, I think what I mean to say is it is incredibly hard to identify how many people are even in this space. He puts a hand on Oliver's shoulder and says, "You did well. He stood up for what he believed in, and he ended injustice. We're going to go back to the Fellguard. Would you three like to join us?"
What happens? What happens here? Do we just leave it and act like nothing happened?
I'll send for the knights. They can come take a look at it. I'll let them know what we did. And we'll...
Something tells me this
chalk
is
it up to a contract.
a contract.
A contract.
Oliver, I think we need to talk.
Yeah, can we have a breakfast meeting real quick?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll see you back at the Fellguard, Kashar.
Okay. And he walks and disappears into the mist.
Oliver,
Can we not do this conversation like here? This is, I don't know about you guys, but this is really not great to look at.
Let's step outside and we'll shut the door behind us.
You guys walk further into the market, away from the house. The market's dead. It is like 2:30 in the morning.
Oliver?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say? What just happened?
I was gonna go finish it. And,
finish.
I was in a lot of debt to that guy. He's the one that they sent the people to chop off Pepper's fingers.
We gathered that.
When that happened, I realized two things. I realized that there was no real way for me to pay him back, and I realized that he wasn't gonna stop at just me. He was gonna come after you guys. So I went in there, and I was just gonna go have an honorable fight. If he killed me, that would have been fine. It would have been over that way too. A couple of guys grabbed me. I took them out. I took him out. I didn't do the rest of that.
There's nothing honorable about what that building looked like, Oliver. Also, how can you know if they were going to come after us? Not to mention the fact that this guy is clearly well invested in this city. So how do we know that there isn't other people who are going to respond to his death?
You chop off the head and 5 more take its place. There's no getting rid of people like that in any real way.
Trust me, I get wanting revenge. I just don't think you did this the way you should have.
I wasn't.
And also, what the fuck is Kashar doing here?
He followed me. He let me into the armory, and then he wouldn't
He
not.
let you into the armory? He just let you?
No.
We can't just like go in there. Why would he help you?
I don't know why he helped me.
Voxy, you
He
know
made me a
that
champion.
whenever
Excuse me.
I went along with it because I thought I was gonna die in an hour,
He what?
and I needed the weapons.
He
There's something that doesn't
made
seem
you
right
a-
about
I
this.
didn't
Joe-
know what he was.
What do you mean he just made you a there's a whole thing that has to how did
He just did it.
you
He just
haven't
grabbed
even
the sword off the wall, and he just did it.
He just
just-
did it so that you guys could murder a bunch of people.
He said it was the only way that I could get into the armory. Guys, something's wrong.
Yes.
I just wanted to go in there, look him in the eye, and die fighting.
Why are you trying to die, Oliver?
I don't deserve to live.
I'm gonna grab, pull him in.
hoist him up to your level.
Oliver,
Uh,
stop trying to die. Stop trying to save whatever the hell happened in the past. Ignore the fucking past, Oliver. Look at us right now. We're here for you. That's what we're doing here. Let us help you. Something else is clearly going on that is setting you off in a wrong direction, and I don't like it.
Okay, yeah.
So snap out of it, and let's figure out what the hell is going on here. Just gonna throw him down.
Push him back away from you. Oliver, you fall back onto your feet, leaning up against a market stall. It clatters a little bit as you land against it. Pepper, what's going on?
I think Pepper has been silent for quite a moment at this point and is just kind of frozen, but also keeping an eye on Voxy ever since Oliver dropped the champion information.
Foxy, what are you doing right now?
I think Foxy has taken a step back and is listening intently to the conversation between Xeris and Oliver. She has noticed that Pepper, they've been quiet for a long time. But mostly just trying to not lose her cool right now, even though she
Yeah.
really wants to.
Give
And
me
it's also
a Constitution
very-
saving throw.
All right. What's my... oh, yes. All right. That's a... What's that's 3? No. 13.
Do you think that Voxy, with a 13, do you think that Voxy would lose some of that control?
A little bit. A little bit.
In what way?
I think that is kind of, if we're talking about what just happened, I think her yelling and being like, what are you talking about, is a little bit of the losing it. But I think her having to walk away is losing it, and she's kind of trying to do some deep breathing.
Okay.
But it's not really making her feel better. She's not exploding the way she wants to, but she's not feeling any better.
You walk away a bit, heading towards the fountain that's the center of the market stalls. Pepper, do you follow?
Yeah, I would like to follow.
I figured. You take off after Voxy. Xeris, you brush yourself off and cross your arms and face away from Oliver. And Oliver, you stand there shell-shocked against the market stall. And the only thing that keeps replaying in front of your eyes is El Torin looking up at you, coughing up blood, with tears pouring down his face. Foxy, you arrive at the fountain. It's turned off. It's just still water right now. Pepper, you arrive right behind her.
Foxy?
You didn't have to follow me. I'm fine.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not, but I will be.
Foxy, what he did is not, what Kashar did is not okay. We can take it to Sarah. We can report this. We can get this fixed. It's not right. He can't just do that. You're right. There's protocols. That's your position. Everyone knows that.
I really appreciate you saying that. I don't want to take it away from Oliver. It's even though he's
like Oliver also doesn't
acting
really
things.
deserve it. Okay, to be fair, like he, like,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like, I'm not. I love Oliver. You know this.
Yeah.
But like, you've earned this. You've been working for it for years, and he just gets it because Kashar wanted to go on a massacre with him.
Yeah, that I don't understand, and I feel like he wasn't nearly worried enough about the like viscera that we were looking at in there. I feel like that was a little unnerving. But maybe, I don't know. A lot was happening. So, I'm kind of grappling with a lot of things at the moment, like, Oliver running away and going on a murderous rampage, like vigilante style, and killing the, head crime boss of the city with the new head of all of the thing. And he's like not even worried about the body parts that we just found, which makes me nervous. So there's just a lot going on in my brain right now that I'm kind of freaking out about. But it's fine. I just need to take a few deep breaths, and then we're gonna go back in there and we'll talk to Oliver about what the fuck just happened. And then, we'll just keep doing our thing, and then we'll solve the mystery, and then I'll go back to being Sarah's apprentice forever. Because that's probably how long it's going to take, because nothing I ever do is good enough there, so I'm probably just going to be a apprentice forever, and that's fine. But Champion Oliver, he can be the new head of all the things if he wants to be. I don't care. It's fine. Great, good for him. He wrote a successful book, and now he's going to be the champion, and it's great. It's great. He'll be able to pay off the debts that he no longer owes because he murdered the head of the crime boss. So I don't know. I'm spiraling.
I just grab Voxy and hug her.
I'm just gonna cry. The tears are gonna fall, and I'm gonna stop talking finally.
Oliver, how much of that did you hear?
Honestly, I think Oliver's in his head so hard they could have been right next to him and he didn't hear a word of it.
Okay. Where are you guys heading next?
I would have been trying not to let Oliver hear that. I would
Okay.
not have said that if I thought Oliver could hear me.
Okay, fair enough. After a little bit of time of some consoling and some deep breathing from Voxy, do you two rejoin the other two, or?
Yeah, I'm just gonna, once I'm ready, I'm gonna pull back. I'm gonna squeeze Pepper's arms and just say thank you. And then I'm gonna lead us both back to wherever Xeris and Oliver are.
Two of them look up and see you as you arrive. The mist still swirling sort of like lazily in the night, in the light, the yellow glow, the orange yellow glow of these lanterns. And you realize how exhausted you all are.
Okay. It's been a very, very long day. I don't even remember the last time we all slept. I think we all need a moment. I don't know, but you guys know that something clearly is going on here. We already suspected there might be something going on before we even left and swapped bodies, and then now this is just everything's kind of stacking up, and the body count's rising, and there's someone that's still multiple steps ahead of us, and we need to figure out who that is. It just doesn't add up.
All right. You're right. But we can't do anything if we don't rest. So let's all get some sleep, and maybe I'm gonna look at Oliver covered in blood. Take a shower, maybe.
Huh.
And then reconvene after that.
Okay, sounds good.
Four of you silently march back to the Fellguard. Do you go to different places, or are you going to stay in the dorms at the Fellguard?
I don't think I have anywhere else to go.
We all got rooms for the big event that started this, right? So we probably all had
It
like
has been a week.
a room. Oh, it's been a week, yeah.
I hate that I keep forgetting his name.
Kashar?
No, the guy that I grew up with. No,
Erwin?
the guy I grew up with. Does he still live in fucking Dawnspire?
Erwin? Yes, he does.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'll go see him.
Okay. Pepper?
I
Going with
want to
Callan?
go. Yeah, I assume he like has a stupidly fancy in room
Yeah,
somewhere.
think every Airbnb, it looks like that.
Trash, awful, horrible. Yeah, I go. I for sure go there.
Okay, Oliver goes
I'm
to
sure
the
I go back to
Fellguard.
my room at the dorms.
Foxy goes to the Fellguard. Pepper goes with Calland. Xeris goes with Erwin. We're going to start.
I would offer, I think, to Voxy if she wanted to come. If she wanted to not go to the Fellguard this evening.
Oh yeah, because then I guess I gotta walk with Oliver. I'm gonna take you up on that because Callan would have other rooms, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like there's gonna be more than the 2 bedrooms. Yeah.
Yes.
It's weird. It has 8 bedrooms.
8 bedrooms.
It's really weird.
And 8 full baths.
Oh. Okay.
I
that
didn't
sounds-
know they made that many. I asked him, I was like, is this an old inn? And he said, no.
And each room has its
Okay.
own fun little theme.
I'm
Foxy,
gonna
you
go.
can stay in the woodland theme. It has little foxes everywhere.
That sounds really nice. Thank you. It's if anything is going to be better than my dorm at the Fellguard right now.
For sure.
So you all go your respective places. Oliver, you go to the Fellguard. Xeris, you walk over to a very, very modest apartment. And you go and you knock on the door, and there's a little thing that opens up right near your crotch, and then you hear and then another little thing opens up at your eye line, and you see your Uncle Erwin, and he goes and you hear the door opens up and he hits you so hard, full force in the waist, that you are knocked back a little bit, and he goes, "Serious! You came home. Well, you came to visit."
This is always going to be home, Erwin.
Of course it. Come on in. Come on in. I've changed the room around a little bit, but I kept yours the same because just in case, obviously. And he goes upstairs, and you see as he opens up his door and walks into his clock shop. You can see that there's all the same stuff is where it once was, but he's tastefully changed the position of the couch to make it a little bit more, the flow of the room is a little bit better. And he gestures at it.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I noticed. It moved. That's
Yes,
nice.
a lot of the people, the customers who come in, they think that this works a lot better. It opens up the space.
It makes it feel much bigger. Yeah.
Tea, you need tea. Hold on. And he runs into the kitchen and he starts. You hear like clattering of pots and pans as a kettle is pulled out of a cupboard, and he puts some water on it and comes back and says like, how is my favorite nephew doing? Apart from the horrible tragedy that happened earlier, I'm so sorry to hear about that.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm doing well. There's a lot's happened in the last week.
It sure has.
I don't know. I guess I kind of I came to you for a few reasons. One, because I haven't seen you.
You
in
came
forever,
to
and
wise Uncle Erwin, of course.
I did, but I need a place to stay the night. If that's okay.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Um,
More than one. Absolutely.
well-
Hold on, let me chase the cat off the bed. He runs in and you hear a as a cat jumps off the bed and comes running out of your room. He goes, "Sorry, he always likes to sleep in there."
Yeah. But also I don't know. I guess I kind of maybe needed some advice.
Well, I'm the best at that.
Oh,
Lay it on me. He goes and he sits on the couch and he his feet are not, they're like sitting and kind of kicking off the edge of the couch, and he taps the side of the couch, the cushion, and says, "Come on,
I'm gonna go and sit next to him on the couch.
let's rap. What you got?"
Can't stay serious when you do things like that, Jordan. I just you know my team, the breakfast company.
Yes, of course.
Well, we're kind of going through some stuff at the moment.
No,
yeah.
you're fighting.
Yes and no. It's more like a lot
Was it
of
Pepper again?
It's no. It was no. Actually, Pepper is doing great.
Oh, good.
We're basically best friends now.
I worry
so
about them sometimes.
I don't think I've ever said that out loud to them, but it's
You
They
should
do mean a
tell
lot to
them
me.
that sometimes. It's important to share how you feel about people. Serious.
You
Don't
know,
bottle that up.
one thing
Don't know where you get
that
that from
I
your
do.
father.
is not say anything that I'm feeling. That is my thing.
Get a different thing, man.
I will at some point. There's been something that's gnawing at me with Oliver. He's just I feel like I saw some signs that he wasn't himself and wasn't thinking correctly, and I tried to tell him, but maybe I just told him the wrong way or didn't
Did you
go
tell him
about
the
it.
way you normally tell people things?
Uh, I mean, yeah, I don't have a
Yeah,
second
you
way of
did.
telling people.
Were you kind of a dick about it?
I mean, yeah, probably.
Maybe.
That sounds like me.
Xeris, we've talked about this.
I know. I
You need to
I
see
can't.
things from other perspectives. Maybe he's feeling lost and alone and he just needs his friends to be there. And when you come at him with such aggression, maybe he pulls back and tries to fight back against you.
I guess that's true. I mean, I do. I mean, I care about him a lot. I just
Do you tell him that?
yeah, but maybe I sound more angry than I'm intending.
You sound angry now.
Do I?
Yes, it's the inflection of your voice.
I don't know. I want I guess I want us to, I don't know. All of us. I want us to be like the way it used to be, and it just hasn't been. I don't know. I guess we can't help that time's passed and we've kind of done things separately and had separate lives for 5 years, but I don't know. It feels silly that we could just link back up and be so disjointed.
Rivers, as they cut across the land, tend to ebb and flow at certain places, and they're always changing. Constantly and forever. If there's a rainstorm here, a drought there, they constantly shift and change their position, but that doesn't mean that they aren't still beautiful. Just because your relationship with your friends changes somewhat, or lessens, or comes back, it doesn't mean that it's not still important. I think you should try appreciating what you've got now instead of what once was. Tell your friends, actually tell them how you feel. Because if you don't tell them, how are they supposed to know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really used to having friends, so I guess
You've got me.
Your family.
Family can be friends.
Sure.
Look, I love you, kiddo. And I think you're a good egg. Just think that sometimes you can be a little rough around the edges.
Yeah. I know. Thanks, Erwin. I'm gonna hug him.
I bet he hugs you back really tight. Look, I need to hit the hay. I've got an early morning.
Yeah, I need
Working
to
on
get
some stuff from Glint Harbor. That stuff is still covered in dust. Can you believe that?
Wow. Well, I'm sure you'll do a
You all
really
did
good
a
job.
number on that town, I swear. All right. Well, I'll get some tea. I'll pour you a cup, and then I'll probably turn in. Don't forget what I said, Xeris. If you don't tell somebody something, how are they supposed to know? And he stands up on the couch and gives you a kiss on the forehead and hops down, runs over to the kitchen. And we're going to cut over to Pepper and Voxy. You walk into Callan's place, and you can hear a crackling fire in the den. You come around into the space, and you can see Callan is sitting there. He's got his hand on his knee, and you can see that he's like massaging it slightly, grimacing as he does so. And he looks up and he sees the two of you and goes, How'd it go?
It was not. It couldn't. Everyone is fine.
All right.
All of us are fine. And that's. I just like awkwardly look at Voxy, and that's
all we can ask for.
Yep, that's we'll talk later. It's been a long day, Callan.
What happened?
I'm just looking at Pepper.
Elterin Harlow is dead, and everyone in that building is dead. In the most graphic scene I've ever seen in my. I thought I was going to throw up on the spot. It was so violent.
It was really bad. Yep. Yeah.
It was really bad, and that was not us.
Was that Oliver?
And Oliver's. Well, it was. Oliver says most of it was Kashar.
That's pretty much the
went with
gist.
him.
Yeah, Kashar, like, I guess, let him into the armory, and then they pushed him into coming with, and then they, I don't know, he said he was really proud of Oliver in front of all of us, and that he did what he had to do, and it was not a great vibe from a guy who just got elected like hours ago.
Yeah, weird first mission. Weird
That is
choice for
strange.
first mission. He also apparently knighted Oliver on the spot. Which I didn't even know they could do. But apparently they can.
I just like slowly walk over to like the liquor cabinet and just start like making a little drink for Voxy.
And I am just going to watch and nod at them.
He made him a champion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he used to be a champion himself. Kashar.
Uh-huh.
He was
Yeah.
the one before Jarendovo.
I remember.
When he stepped down, Jaren took his spot. And, well, we all
R.I.P..
know what happened there.
Why did Kashar step down?
Not many people know why. We just know that he quit. Seemed to be on good terms. There was a whole ceremony and all that stuff. It seemed like he had fulfilled his duties as the Fellguard champion, and he left to go do other work. Mercenary work, mostly.
There was a rumor that he just couldn't handle the pressure. But I don't know how true
Did
that
he
is.
look like a man who couldn't handle the pressure tonight?
No, he looks like a man who pressurized a lot of people.
He looks like he is the pressure.
There's something wrong with him.
Can I see if I see that Callan knows something that he's not saying?
Insight check, sure.
Ah, damn. Are you sure it has to be insight?
Yeah, that's what you want. Could it be acrobatics? What'd you
It
roll,
was
Box?
a 8.
If
It's a
Calland
8.
is hiding something from you, he's doing a damn good job. You are feeling a lot of emotions right now, and a lot of
Mhm.
strong feelings, and it's hard to read him.
Mhm.
It's late. Perhaps we can just turn in, go to bed for a little bit. Tomorrow in the morning we can figure out the next couple steps. I mean, he's the leader of the Fellguard. If he has done something wrong, we ought to let people know, but as the leader, he's got a lot of power. The Fellguard are the largest guild in all of the Dueling Serpents.
He didn't seem scared at all. You just see they call the knights and it would be called a contract. So I don't think anyone will do anything about this. Not right now.
All right, business as usual then, with an air of caution. Voxy,
Definitely.
I'll show you to your room. Peppa, can you hang out in the living room for a second?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
I
leaves-
flop on the couch.
He leads you up, Voxy, to a large room, and you can see a hallway with like so many doors. He opens the door, and you can see that there are a bunch of like tree wallpaper that leads into like almost a nice, quiet, almost summer forest. And every so often, there's a small, almost cartoonish fox that's poking its head out from around a tree. He says, "Here's some fresh towels, and if you need anything else, just give me a shout. All right? Why don't you?"
Yeah, thank you.
Rinse off and relax for a little bit, unwind. I'm gonna go have a conversation with Peppa.
Okay, thank you. I very much appreciate your hospitality.
Of course, it's my home. He walks sort of like shutting the door behind him, and Pepper he arrives downstairs with you.
I am laid on the couch on my back. I have a pillow over my face. And I am just looking dead to the world for all to see.
He goes, grabs your legs, kicks them off the couch, and sits down where your legs were. And goes, "When Oliver came to me, he acted like he was heading to die.
He said he was fully expecting to die.
Now, I don't mean to be presumptive, and I don't mean to accuse. But how did y'all let him get like that?"
I don't know, Calland, he'd been trying to make him talk to us for so long. And when he told me all the stuff that was going on right before that attack happened at the Fellguard, I don't know, I thought it would get better, but it got worse. I don't know, I didn't realize how... I knew it was bad. I didn't know it was this bad.
He's in a really bad place now. He knocked me over.
What?
Got dirt on my clothes.
Calland, are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm stronger than I look, but it was rude and I didn't appreciate it.
I will scold him late. Well, no, he's not in a place to be scolded right now, but when
Give
he
it a
is
week and
recovered...
Give it a week and I'll whack him with my cane.
Yeah, go for the shins.
But what I mean to say is, he never would have done that
You know.
unless he is this far gone. I feel like there's a lot happening in the world right now, and y'all four are focusing on the big picture, when instead maybe you should be focusing on each other. Peppa, he said something strange to me. He said that there was an actor who wanted to meet her daughter, Nora.
Just fully roll off the couch at this point. Just flop on the floor. Oh, Calland. Oh, I gave him one job, Calland. It was to not talk to actors. Calland, my mom was in that show.
Your mother.
Mhm.
I assume we're not on speaking terms with her.
No, she's kind of the worst.
Oh, well, can't be any worse than,
And Oliver had to deal with her. That's horrible. No wonder he wanted to die tonight, Calland. I want to die every time I speak to my mother. I am trivializing Oliver's mental state because I am very upset right now, and that is not an excuse, but I will apologize regardless.
Well, he mentioned this and I followed up a little bit. Sounds like you're supposed to meet tomorrow at noon at a place called the Gilded Griffin.
Ugh. I don't know. The name just sounds bad. Everything about that
Oh, no,
sounds.
it's a beautiful restaurant. It's one of the.
Oh,
one
of
the-
course it is.
It's one of the
Probably
nicer
has
ones
small
here in Dawnspire.
small tasting menus and wine pairings and.
They don't have prices on the menu either.
Ah! If she makes me pay, Calland, I am going to flip a table
I'll give you
and
a
then
little.
correct
I'll-
and then put it back because the wait staff does not deserve my anger.
That's
her.
true. We taught you that.
I taught you that.
I taught you
I had
that.
to teach you how to. I taught you how to tip, Calland.
I taught you manners. Tipping is only useful if the people do a good job. That's what you taught me.
No, that's not. We'll work on this.
That's why it's a
we will
tip.
circle back.
It's additional.
No, Calland.
Regardless. Supposed to meet at noon. I got you a cart and everything. You can meet outside the house and go up there. I'll give you a coin purse and you can take it with you. Use it to pay for whatever you want. It's fine.
Okay, I'll pay. Power move.
There you go. Show who's boss.
Dang right.
Treat it like when we go and meet our mercantile friends. Assume the control position of the conversation. Steer it the direction you want it to go.
Yeah, but the problem is I don't want this conversation to go anywhere. Don't
You
want
know-
it to happen.
Do you not want to go?
I have to.
All right. Tomorrow then. Meet outside around, 11:30 and cart will pick you up. I'm turning in. I've been knocked down one too many times today.
Okay.
Yeah.
But hey, every time you got knocked down, you got back up again.
It was one time, Peppa.
Oh, you said multiple times. I didn't know if you just tripped laser or something.
I'm gonna kick Oliver's ass, and he walks back upstairs.
I believe in you.
Oliver, we catch up with
Yes.
you at the Fellguard. It's still late at night. Probably at this point, an hour, 2 hours after the events that just took place.
I would like to go try to find Kishar.
Okay. He is probably in his office. The new
Right on.
office of the leader of the Fellguard. You go and you knock on it, and answering the door is wearing like a nice sort of like a nice well-kept dress is a dragonborn. And she says, "Yes, can I help you?"
Hello. I would like to speak to Kishar, please.
I'm sorry, but the Kashar is not seeing. And you hear a voice that says, "It's all right, Steward Zuri, you can let him in." And she turns and looks back and nods and opens the door. And you see that he is freshly cleaned and is sitting back behind the desk, and he's glancing at some parchments that he has. He lays them down, and watching you walk up, you see as he like leans back in his chair and says, "Oliver, I didn't think you would still be up."
Yes. I'm sorry if I woke you.
No, I figured I was gonna be awake too. I might as well get some work done.
Entirely fair. I wanted to say thank you for giving me access to the armory this evening.
Of course, you seemed like you were in a really tough spot, and I figured it was the least that we could do. I mean, I feel like we owe you so much.
Well, thank you. So how do we do this? Do I have to write out a full resignation letter? Are you able to just say, thank you for your service, you're all done? I should go put this back before that happens while I still have access to the armory, I suppose. So I just start taking off pieces of the plate armor and just like, they're so bloody. I just hold them.
What do you mean?
Oh, well, the championship. I assumed that once we took care of everything, I was just gonna go ahead and nip that one in the bud.
You want to quit already?
Well, yes.
So when I asked you about the oath and you took it,
Well, in my defense, I was fully expecting to be dead in a bit less than an hour. But I mean, I was thinking about that, and I think that the tenets of the oath can still 100% be held true. I'm fully intending to follow all the tenets of the Fellguard. I just don't think that the championship is a correct position for me. If anything, it should be Voxy. I mean, you saw what happened tonight. I have a lot of baggage that could be really harmful to the Fellguard as an organization, and I just think logical sense would be for me to not be in that position. I thought you knew this. I thought you were only giving me that position so that I could be let into the armory.
Oliver, I was giving you that position because you absolutely deserve it.
Oh, no, thank you, but no, no.
Oliver, you saved the world.
I was 1/4. Well, really, that is sort of putting a lot of importance on the 4 of us. There were quite a lot of people that were involved in the destruction of Vergalath, but even then, I was only 1/4 of that. And out of those 4 people, one of them has really been working towards this position for quite a long time, and and that person also doesn't owe several hundred gold to the mafia.
What mafia?
Well, Harlow.
I thought we took care of that problem.
Well, yeah, I suppose we did. But that's, I mean, if nothing else.
He stands up from his desk and he walks around. And again, he's a tall guy. When he stands next to you, he is like a full like head and shoulders above you. He puts one hand on your shoulder, and you feel an intense like strength that is being held back, like an immovable object basically. And he goes, Oliver, I made you a champion because the current roster is not cutting it. We lost our leader. We lost a dozen people in the attack. We almost lost you four because of mishandled and frankly stuff that could have been avoided. I'm making you champion because we need a popular face on this. The Fellguard needs to know that they're in good hands. Did you think that I was just gonna make you champion?
What? Well, that's the only opening.
Tomorrow morning, I want you to gather the rest of your company and have them meet me in the Grand Hall.
Okay.
We'll do this proper.
Okay. Okay.
I do not accept your resignation. In fact, I don't even think it's possible for you to quit. The only way out is by death, Oliver. You know this.
Out of game. That's a threat, right?
I don't think it's a threat. You
Am I
know
reading
that
as a threat?
the transfer of a championship title is only done whenever the previous champion dies.
Except for him, right?
Seems like there were some interesting circumstances with him. Something that you don't quite know yet.
Okay. I'm gonna keep that one to myself. It is time to leave this room. Thank you. I will inform the rest of my company of your desires.
Wonderful. He releases his hand, and you feel that pressure come off your shoulder, and it almost hurts a little bit. You head to the door, and he walks back around his desk and sits down and pulls some more papers, and as you open the door, he goes, Oliver. You turn back, and he goes, you did really well tonight.
Okay.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
And you leave the room.
Okay. So I'm gonna go wherever it is I'm sleeping tonight.
Just one of the dorm rooms. There's a couple empty dorms that seems like a lot of people who were here probably went home to their families for this last week.
Okay. I'm going to go through the process of recasting Find Familiar to summon Zepexi.
Sure. After about, I believe it takes an hour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you, and this owl appears, this shimmering bright blue owl pauses and looks at you and tilts its head to the side.
I'm going to write a little. I'm gonna take a little scrap of paper, and I'm gonna write on it. I'm gonna write. Kashar wants to speak with us tomorrow, and send that to Xerus. I'm gonna say take this to Xerus. He's probably staying with his uncle. And then come back and get the other one
Okay.
when
So
you're done. And then
over the next couple of hours, the owl flies out and returns, flies out, flies out, returns, and you turn in to go to bed. Absolutely exhausted. The adrenaline has worn off at this point. And I think as soon as you hit the bed, you just basically pass out.
Yep. Yeah.
The next morning, you all wake to a small message sitting somewhere by your room. Whether it's in front of a door or slipped under a doormat or something like that. And it all reads the same thing. The note that Oliver left for you.
And I think I would have said, like, let's meet at the breakfast hut beforehand.
Mm-hmm. So early in the morning,
What breakfast time?
you all meet in a market square in front of a derelict building.
And so it's like abandoned, completely empty.
It hasn't been opened into another shop yet.
Okay, perfect. Is it
By
locked?
the breakfast hut.
I think it is locked, but there's like open windows. So if you were to try to reach your arm in and try to unlock it, you can get in.
Okay, yeah. I want to just, if it's an empty building, that's perfect. I was gonna
Sure,
hide
yeah.
in an alleyway, but this is even better. So like when you guys get there, I'm like peeking out the door, like,
Just like look around. Okay, you can go in.
um, hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello?
Okay, listen, I went to talk to Kashar last night to try and tender my resignation. And he not only wouldn't take it, but Voxy, you're up to speed on these things. What are all the ways that somebody would not be champion anymore?
Death.
And that's it?
As far as I know, or they're like dishonorably discharged,
Okay.
if somebody does something really wrong and then they're excommunicated, but that's basically the same thing as dying. So
That's last night when he was talking to me, he made it sound like he wants to make all four of us into champions. Which logically, that means Sarah and the others are in danger, right?
What, is he gonna fire them?
That would be the best option, I suppose.
did he
Why?
do we know what did he say he said I want to make them champions?
Well, I said to him, I don't deserve this. If anybody, you should be picking Voxy for the new seat. And when I said that, he said, do you think I want to make only you a champion? And then he said, bring your friends to the Fellguard tomorrow. So I'm drawing some conclusions, but they're not terribly far apart conclusions.
I'm having a lot of feelings about all the information I was just given just now.
Please,
Okay.
Voxy.
First of all, that was very nice of you to do that, and you didn't have to do that. And I really appreciate that. But also, there's only a certain set of amount of champions that are supposed to be knighted or dubbed at once. Unless maybe he's changing that. Maybe he's upped our numbers.
No, the general vibe that I was getting from him was that he felt a need to, sort of an out with the old blood, in with the new sort of situation.
There's only 3.
In what way?
Isn't that like a thing that there's only 3? I mean, right now there's 2 because of but like, isn't it supposed to be the 3 champions?
It's normally 4.
Oh, it's normally 4. Perfect.
Yeah.
How convenient.
There's a lot of things that are not really adding up here.
Okay, how long do we have until Kashar expects us to be in front of him?
Not terribly long.
Like less than an hour.
Do we have enough time to go check on the others?
Voxy,
Well,
give me a history check.
Okay. 14.
Okay. With a 14, I think that you would know that there are other ways of stepping down as champion. Like you said, basically getting fired is one. Death is another. That one's the most honorable, usually. That gets you a plaque. And then there's some other special circumstances. If you are believed to... the special circumstances, it's very, very rare. There have been instances where, like, champions have been fired because they have not upheld the, like, tenets of the Fellguard. But to your knowledge, when Kashar left the Fellguard, that was not the state of things. He was left. It was a big old ceremony. There was like Marvian Ashford wished him well and gave him like this big thing about the history of his like work in the Fellguard and wished him luck on his future endeavors and all this stuff. And there was nothing in it that seemed like they were trying to hide the fact that he was leaving.
True. Okay.
And so if he quits, it seemed like it was very, very special circumstances, because that is not something that a Fellguard champion does.
Okay. And the circumstances of those special circumstances are not widely known.
No.
Correct?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Jordan, does the other champions, are any of them like rogues?
No, not really.
Like we're D&D. Okay.
They're mostly, there's Sarah's a fighter, and I always forget this other one's name.
Yeah, she is.
Wait.
You gonna beat me to it?
Uh,
Xandorivar was a Xandorivar was a he was a barbarian, and then
He's the one who was killed, right?
yes, he was killed, and
Yes.
then there was Krausiash Phasire, who was a
Yes.
he was like a mage kind of mix for the last three.
Okay. So getting Xerus to like write a letter in Thieves' Cant wouldn't really do much.
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
what race is Krausiar?
Krausiar,
Raz?
Dragonborn.
Krausiar. Okay.
Oh.
Oh wait, no, I know Draconic.
Me
Okay.
too.
Does your idea work, Zeb?
It might.
What?
I was gonna say, would Vox, I mean, I feel like she would, but being just an apprentice, maybe not, know of like a secret way in that's not through the front door, a way to get to
Yeah, there's plenty of entrances into the
dorms or
Fellguard that are
wherever
not
somebody would-
like the front entrance. A lot of the time, when guild members are returning from battles and stuff, they don't want to be seen coming in through the front door covered
Mhm.
in blood. So there's tons of back entrances, like servants' entrances and things like that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
Staff
my idea
entrances.
is like maybe we go that way to find them, but Zeb has an idea.
Okay. At least one of the champions reads, right?
Yes, at least one of the champions reads.
Okay. I'm gonna just put like the title of a book and then chapter whatever, and just like pull a random chapter of a book from memory that includes like a betrayal happening, and then send that to Dragonborn fam.
Okay, gotcha. So you write down this
So-
information, you give it to
In Draconic.
Draconic, you give it to Zepexi, and you send her out.
Yeah.
All right, flying
How
out
do
of
we
the
get up
out of the
with, how do
door.
we get up with Sarah?
Are we thinking that he's going to have them killed? Is that what's happening?
That seems a lot, right? He's probably just going to, if he's going to like, get people excited and believing in the Fellguard again. I feel like it's like quiet, harsh in the room, but throwing them under the bus and then being like, but look at these guys, aren't they amazing?
I mean,
It
I
was
don't know. I don't really, after what we saw yesterday, I don't think he's exactly shy of the bloodshed and getting his hands dirty. And
If he's gonna do it, he's not gonna do it in front of everyone, though.
what if we stage an emergency, Pepper? Why don't we stage an emergency date? Be like, you have to meet me for breakfast this morning, Sarah, before I have to go have my meeting with Kishar, and you need to meet
So
me right
I
now.
don't really know what happened with Sarah, but I feel like Oliver, I feel like maybe it didn't go great considering she wasn't there at the end.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really take the time to tell you. Listen, I'll explain that to you on the way, but
Yeah.
knowing what we know, we might just have to play along. We can try to warn Sarah if we see her. I've sent the message.
I
But
can
this-
message Sarah. This will be terrible coming from me, but I can message her once we are in the same room.
Okay, just to give them some kind of heads up. But here's the thing. I don't know if it's safe for us to openly say no thank you.
Oh no, we have to say yes.
Yeah.
He's not going to let us say no.
It's not exactly the way I pictured it, but yeah, I'm gonna say yes.
I could agree with
Okay,
that.
Voxy. When this all gets over and the rest of us get, I don't know, discharged or whatever, you will stay on. And then we
Well,
will
let's
have a real ceremony for you, not whatever bullshit today is going to be.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it'll be fine. If we make it out of this.
We will make it out of this.
Yes.
And if we don't, I don't have to go see my mother today. So that's very exciting.
I'm sorry, you're what?
Never
What?
mind. Let's
Okay.
go, everybody.
Yeah.
Pepper, I'll explain what happened on the way. I do want you to know I tried.
Oh, Oliver. Of course you did. Not worried about it.
Well, that makes one of us. All right, let's do this.
Oliver, don't be worried about my love life. I've never worried about mine.
Guys, before we, get going, I'm just gonna, I don't know how to say this. I'm just gonna say it. I really like you guys, and I'm glad we're back together. Okay, I said it. I'm done, and let's go. Oh, look! There's stuff to save, and I'm just gonna walk.
Tackle you in a hug.
I want to come up and slowly. I'm gonna join the hug. I'm gonna come on the outside and join the hug.
Oliver, get in here right now.
Okay.
You all slam into each other, and the hug lasts for a good while as you all just have a moment of peace and this is emotion sort of fills you. And then you all break away, just have a moment to sort of like look at each other before realizing where you have to go. You head out into the streets, heading up towards the Fellguard. You arrive and you can see that the Fellguard doesn't have too many people there. And you can see up at the front, inside the main hall, there's a small collection of people who are talking. And you see Kashar, and when he sees you four enter, he gestures his arm out, and everyone turns to look. And there's like a small smattering of applause. And he, you four walk up to him, and in a low voice, he says, "Thank you for coming here. Did Oliver share what I wanted to do?" The guild right now needs strength and reassurance that they will be protected. Which is why I asked you all here. Your names are known the realm over. You saved us not once, but twice, and I've asked for nothing in return. He looks at Oliver and then looks at the rest of you and says, "This was an obvious choice for me." He stands back and says, "I'm here to promote the four standing before me, from the role of hunter to the role of guild champion. Right now, the Fellguard doesn't need just fighters. We need someone for others to look up to. Someone who will stand up to injustice," and he looks at you, Oliver. "And we need heroes," and he looks to the rest of you. And he goes, "I know that you'll do this for us." He looks at you and says, "Do you four pledge to hunt the darkness, protect the innocent, and defend the realm against all monstrous threats?"
We do.
"Do you, with unwavering courage and unyielding strength, pledge to serve the Fellguard, upholding the legacy of the champions before you?" On that, Voxy, you glance over, and in the crowd, you can see Sarah, and there are tears spilling down her face, and she turns and leaves the crowd. Kashar looks at you. "Do you pledge to uphold the tenets of the Fellguard?" He looks at Oliver. "Live by them," and looks at the rest of you. "And do everything in your power to preserve their truths." Then in the name of honor, justice, and the eternal fight against the night, I dub the champions of the Fellguard. And he raises a blade up, and the crowd that's around here breaks out into applause. And Voxy, you have this like swelling feeling that doesn't feel right. Everything about this feels horribly wrong. The crowd breaks off, and Kashar pulls the four of you over and leads you over to a small... Hold on. He leads you over to Marvian's Rest, that garden that is over by the in the Fellguard Hall. And when he gets there, he, in a low voice, says, "I've asked the current champions to step down. They did an admirable job during the funeral attack, but things fell through the cracks, and because of that, good people died. I don't blame them, but like I said, the guild needs strength and reassurance right now. And because you four carry that so well, I think you're the best bet. So congratulations. I have a couple more things that I need to get done this morning, but I would like to have a meeting with you four this afternoon. Let's say around 2. Does that sound good? Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Then enjoy your day. Celebrate as you see fit. It's good to have you four here, champions. And he turns and walks off, heading towards the door. And you see Steward Zuri catch up to him, holding a bundle of books, and begin talking to him about his affairs that he has coming up. And the four of you are left here.
You know, it's funny. She was in his quarters last night.
Steward Zuri?
Yeah.
Oh?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
That's weird.
Like in his quarters or like in his
Like, I don't know. She answered the door.
Yeah, she normally does like servanty steward stuff like that, you know,
quarters?
like
Oh, this is
she-
not as exciting as
she's
I
the one-
wanted it to be.
yeah, she's the one who like hires and does the catering and like she like somebody told me that she was the one who hired all the staff for the party, the funeral
Wait,
party. But
What?
Oh?
you know, we can trust her. I told you guys that, right?
No.
But like it was like a member of Marvian's staff, so like
They're the one that hired the
Oh, I
wait
see.
staff?
oh, I see it now. Yeah. Yeah, they hired the wait staff that were the children of the Orcus. Yeah. So now
I mean, we found the actual wait staff. We
Mhm.
found their bodies.
yeah.
but,
Exactly.
like, I mean, I don't know. It's not a red flag, but I feel like the flag is yellow, leaning towards orange.
Something that Kashar said isn't really sitting well with me. He mentioned that they failed in regards to the attack, and I'm just curious what he might know about the attack that he is not letting on about.
Okay. All right. We've got a preponderance of information, but so few connections between them. If we're pulling this thread, maybe we should try to go talk to the other champions.
I need to talk to Sarah.
I
We need to
should
be-
probably not talk to Sarah.
I think
Pepper,
that's
you
also a good
have
idea.
a lunch date very soon.
I have to go do a very awful, terrible thing. Did we get like any like badge as the champion, or is it just kind of like, yeah, you got the title?
So there is like a
Hat.
yeah, you get a little hat that you have to wear all the time. No, it's kind of more like a written scroll of like proof kind of thing.
Ah, okay.
Like it's not like a badge that you could just wave about. Most people are probably going to be aware. Your names are going to be in the paper. Like this is going to be a big deal. It just seemed like the like ceremony itself wasn't. It was so rushed and so put together last minute that like it wasn't a big to do.
Sure. Okay. That's fine.
Like you guys are about to become celebrities.
Ah.
My worst nightmare.
Yay!
Oh, Cirrus. You poor thing.
So, regardless, I think we need to be careful of what we say to other people. I know, obviously, you need to speak to Sarah, but I don't. We all don't feel that this feels weird, and I just don't want. But I don't want to also let on that we think this feels weird. We need to pretend that we want this, as Oliver had mentioned.
I think we just need to get more information. I don't know what's going
Really?
on, and I don't like it.
I really hate to say this. I don't think we can trust anyone else in the Fellguard right now.
Yeah.
Not even the champions that just got demoted.
No, I mean, well, not in the Fellguard right now, are they?
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if they got demoted to hunters or if they're like, gone.
Yeah, out of game. What does it mean if you get demoted? Do you just get? Are they going to be excommunicated? Would
No,
I
not
know
necessarily.
what's going to happen to them?
This feels like another very special circumstance, we'll say, where they weren't fired because they, did something horribly wrong. They were let go as like a you're not able to handle this kind of move.
Like a forced retirement.
So they
Like
can collect unemployment.
literally, yes, a forced retirement is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll go warn Barum not to trust anybody.
Well, just
What words did I just say?
You said not. I'm just letting him know that we
Yeah.
can't trust anyone.
Mhm. Right. Okay. So what organization is Barum a part of? Just to remind me.
Oh no!
There it is.
Oh no!
Look, I like Barum. I like Barum a lot. Barum and I went on a date together. Was it a good one? No. But we had fun together. So, I just don't. I think Oliver, he is probably safer not knowing what we know.
Yeah. That's the other side of it. Yeah, it's keeping people in the dark, because if they accidentally speak up in a way to someone else, there could be other consequences.
Oh man! All right.
But you should take him on like a real date when, things are not the way they are.
Well, if we are the champions, I don't know when that's gonna be.
Yeah, your schedule's going to be pretty packed for a while.
Ah, gross.
Pepper,
Sucks.
thinking of schedule, you look up at the clock in the Fellguard Hall, and you have so little time to get over to the restaurant.
Oh, I have to go now. Goodbye, everybody. I just run off.
You just scamper off into the hall, running out the front door. The cart that you had to pick you up at the Fellguard is right in front of the hall itself. Get inside and you roll over to the restaurant. The three of you, Xeros, Voxy, and Oliver, what are our plans?
I gotta go find Sarah.
You three going together?
I guess I'll.
I don't need to go alone.
Oh,
but
that's right. Sarah doesn't know it was me. Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, we could go together for sure.
The
Wait,
three
is
of
that-
you. Yeah.
Ill-advised. Should we
ill-advised.
should we not be seen talking to the former champions in a large group?
Maybe can you guys like be the lookouts while I talk to her?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that works.
And maybe we can find the other one down there too. If you guys see him, one of you could go talk to him and the other one be the lookout.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm gonna head for wherever Sarah would be, which would I guess be her dorm.
Yeah, her
Or her
dorm is
room,
different than a
whatever
lot of
she
others.
has
She
in the
has
campaign.
a set room in this place for sure. It's not a dormitory. It's basically it's a suite. You've got like a full kitchen, office, a bedroom, a living space. It is pretty swanky for what it is. You go and you knock on the door. There's no answer. Try the doorknob. It opens up, and you can hear movement in the bedroom.
Sarah, it's Foxy. Are you here? Can we talk?
You walk into the room, slowly stepping in, and you see walking past the door is Sarah as she is going to her closet and pulling clothes out of it and coming back. And you see as she is stuffing them into bags that she has open on the bed. She's facing away from you.
Well, you never sneak up on a champion, so I'm gonna from farther enough away. He's Sarah.
She stops and she, like, you can see as she, like, and she turns and she looks at you. Her eyes are bloodshot. And she has tears pouring down her face. And she goes, "What?"
I wanted to check on you and I wanted to talk about what just happened.
What do you need to talk about? Huh? She goes over to the her bag and she grabs more stuff and starts throwing it in. She's not folding it anymore. She's just chucking it in the bag.
Well,
What gives him
I don't really know
the
what
right
happened.
to do this?
I don't know. I don't know.
You know, it's not even the fact-
We didn't ask for this.
It's not even the fact that... It's the fact that he said that we failed at our jobs. That's what gets me.
No, you
It was
didn't.
an
You
ambush.
didn't. Yeah, it was. That's
We
exactly what it
lost.
was.
Zan, and I lost one of my best friends. And he says that I failed?
No.
She goes and
know.
grabs her stuff and she tosses it in her bag and she turns and her bag falls off the bed and she goes, "Fuck!" and stops and is just panting and heaving heavily.
I'm gonna slowly reach down and grab the bag and set it upright and put it back on the bed. I know that you didn't, Sarah. I don't know why this is happening. We didn't ask for this, and we didn't even know that it was happening. Okay? And if I could fix it, I would. Because I don't think I deserve this. Not in your place. I didn't earn the right to take it from you. So,
What are you talking about?
I just want you to know,
Roxy,
you know exactly what I'm talking
Roxy,
about.
of course you deserve this. The biggest mistake that I ever did was making you my apprentice so you could not take the place of champion. Had I not made you apprentice, you would have been champion years ago. I'm sorry. I thought I was helping, but I wasn't.
But so you mean you made me an apprentice so that I couldn't be champion?
No, not on purpose. I made you an apprentice because I was jealous of your strength and your abilities. I thought that I could maybe show off how good of a teacher I was. And then you
Well,
surpassed me, and then I couldn't do anything else about it. And the only time that you would become champion is if I died, and that... I'm sorry.
I had no idea. I didn't realize that. I thought that you were a great teacher, and I learned so much from you. So I never felt like I was good enough for you. And I really enjoyed learning from you.
Guess you've gotten what
And
you
I'm
wished.
sorry that I didn't wish for this. I didn't want it like this. I wanted to be a champion, but I was always terrified of that day because it meant that you would be gone. I never expected to be a champion and still be able to talk to you face to face. It's not what I wanted, but it's how I imagined the whole thing always would be. So this isn't what I imagined either. But I'm glad that you're not dead. But I'm gonna look around and make sure there's no like open windows or doors or anything that somebody could be listening in.
Mm-hmm.
Something about this doesn't feel right. I don't know what it is, but I want to figure it out. We are going to figure it out. So I just need you to keep your head down and your eyes open. Something is rotten in the state of Dawnspire, okay?
There it is.
She walks over to you and she gives you a hug. And gives you a small kiss on your cheek.
What kind of hug?
She pulls back. It's like the softest, like barely touching your cheek. She pulls back and she says, I hope it's everything you wanted it to be. And she grabs her bag and she walks out of the door. She stops as she sees Xeris and Oliver and then continues and leaves.
Oh, I want to chase after her so bad, but I also don't want her to because I know if she leaves, she's going to be safe. Ugh.
The Spider-Man
So I'm just going to let her
dilemma.
go and I'm going to cry a little bit. Yeah. So I'm going to let her go, but I'm going to cry a little bit. I'm just going to stay in her room and just kind of cry a little bit.
with that, we're going to cut over to a beautiful and elegant storefront. Pepper, the restaurant that your mother invited you to stands up in front of you. It is a absolutely beautiful blending of marble and gold leaf accents that shimmer in the sunlight. These tall arched windows with ornate ironwork around the edges that offer you just a glimpse of this like lavish interior. The front doors sit at the front doors sit a pair of golden griffin statues, each with their own fierce expression. And as you walk in, you are greeted by a waiter who says, "Nora."
No. Try again. Pepper.
"My mistake. Apologies. If you'd come this way, she's expecting you." And this waiter leads you through the restaurant, and here you see dozens of folk who have graced your dining hall back at Callan's place many times. Artisans, merchants, nobles, and they all eye you with interest as you walk past. Clearly,
I take my time greeting people. 'Cause I
Okay.
know all their names.
Yeah.
I fucking work the crowd for a moment.
You hear a couple people say congratulations as you are like being thanked and wished well, and a couple people are saying, "Say hi to Callan for me," as you are all speaking.
Of course I will.
And then you walk and you see in a booth in the back of the restaurant is Maureen, your mother. She stands up, and you can see that she has this like gray skin with like almost blue hair that's been pulled back. It is like perfectly, beautifully wavy, almost like there's a small like breeze blowing through the room. She's wearing this beautiful and elegant dress, and she, when she stands up, she takes a step forward to you and hand waves the waiter away. And she goes and she gives you like one of those weird, like reaching forward, we're not going to touch bodies, just our shoulders hug.
Oh, I don't let her.
Oh, okay. And she goes,
I just kind of take a step back.
"Nora, thank you so much for joining me.
That
Is this your
not-
first time at the Guild and Griffin?"
No, don't even. No, already interrupting me. Awesome. This is how it's gonna be. Okay, Maureen. My name is Pepper. I go by Pepper now. I'm not your daughter. I'm your child. So you're gonna get that right if you want me to even continue to talk to you. Okay?
All right. Pepper,
Thank you.
Pepper, would you like to have a seat?
I would love to. Take a
She-
seat.
She goes
Pass
and
the
she takes a seat as well. She takes a little sip of champagne and says, "This place only opened up a few years ago. It usually takes months to get a reservation, but thankfully I know the owner, and he was able to get us a table."
Well, that's just lovely.
So, Pepper, how long has that been going on?
Like a decade, Mom. It's been a while.
Well, you seem to be the talk of the town today. Heard
Yep.
that your club that you're in seems to be you're moving on up in it.
Huh? You mean the Fellguard?
Yes.
You mean the biggest guild in the country? Do you even know what I've been up to?
The waiter comes by and says, Welcome to the Gilded Griffin. May I interest you? And she waves a hand, and the waiter instantly shuts up and walks away.
Are we gonna like eat at all, or is this just the front?
Pepper, why do you always do this?
I mean, why do I always do this? You haven't seen me in 10 years.
Cannot understand the amount of pressure I am under. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make a good impression with my child. I was surprised to see you, and I didn't know what would be happening. I didn't know whether or not it would be a good or a bad reunion. Sweetie, stop slouching. You always slouch so much. Please sit up.
Okay.
I know that Corey and Char taught you better than that.
How would you know? You weren't there. Don't get you. I don't get why you come back into my life and you pretend like the things I do affect you at all. Because they clearly don't. Because you get to run back off and go on stage and pretend both there and off that you don't have a kid. You don't have anything. Your life's perfect. And what did I do? I got to go live with my aunt and uncle and a shit ton of siblings and try to pretend that I was one of them. And I wasn't. And everyone fucking knew it because you're all air genasies and no one knew where the fire one came from.
Did you like the play?
You were good. That's what you're asking. Really good.
I've been an actress for some time now. And I know that it is a job that requires me to be in a lot of places far away. And I just thought that you being with your uncle and your aunt might make things a bit easier. I thought that I just can't dedicate the time.
You never asked me what I wanted. Maybe I wanted to go with you.
Every time I visited, after being gone for so long, I noticed that I had trouble recognizing you. And you me. It was... Every time I had to get caught up on your life to learn about my own child, and so I just did what I thought was best, and I loved you with the only real parents you ever had. Pepper, I had you when I was very young. It's difficult to be a mother, and everyone else makes it look so easy. And it was the hardest thing that I have ever had to do. And I was scared and I was afraid. So your uncle stepped up, a wonderful man that he is, and offered to take some of the burden off of me. So I let him take you for a bit. And then, as time went on, this shame and guilt filled me, and every time that I thought about you, there was that pang in my head that told me that I left my child alone. So I figured the best thing that I could do was to let you stay happy and with someone who could be there for you and be a better parent than I was. And I probably told myself that I didn't have time for you, and I probably convinced myself that my job was too important, and I just did all of this to justify why I was an absolutely shitty mom to you. But at the end of the day, it was just me being too afraid to confront you and confront what I did. A waiter walks up and leans in and says,
I will gesture away this waiter in this moment.
He nods and he scoots away.
When I was like 10, maybe, I got into this really bad habit of just picking shit up wherever I saw it. Mostly in the restaurant. And there was this one day, there was this really pretty compact mirror. I picked it up. I thought it'd be cool to just add it to my collection. And then it turned out it could speak to me. And that was Vergalath, the djinn that almost destroyed the world 5 years ago. And I almost helped him do it. Because I liked to pretend that he was a parent to me. And I don't know, maybe that pushed me away more. He got in my head. He made me think that he was the only one who cared, or I don't know. But I was a really bad person for a really long time. And I like to think I'm doing a lot better.
From what I hear, you're champion now.
Yeah, that's in weird circumstances, but that's beside the point. I don't know. You. I don't know. I remember that some days I would just wait around by the mirror, hoping he'd have something to say to me. I'd wait weeks for it or months for it. And it was just like being back home, waiting for you. No, I'm not what you wanted.
Sweetheart. I wanted you. I just wanted you to have a good mom. And I didn't think that I was doing that for you.
Well, to be fair, I was a menace. But I fully came in here with the intention of telling you off and railing against you and then telling you to never speak to me again and then storming out, but I think I would much rather tell you that the show you are in right now has the most fucking confusing narrative I've ever seen. I could not follow the plot. I did not know what was happening at any given time. You were really good. I feel like the lead guy was kind of like, but the villain was pretty cool though. I don't know. It felt a bit like it overstayed its welcome towards the end, but that's more in the script, not in the performances.
I didn't write it, so.
I know.
She stands up and walks over to your side and extends out a hand.
Take it.
And she shakes it and she says, "My name is Maureen, and I am your mom."
Hi, my name is Pepper, and I am your child.
Hi, Pepper. She goes and she sits on the other side of the booth again, and she says, "Now, is that waiter?"
I don't know. The service around here is kind of terrible, isn't it? You should tell your owner friend that he really needs to step it up.
We're gonna cut now back over to Xeris, Foxy, and Oliver. Where are the three of you?
Where are we?
Where are we?
Where are we?
We literally just left Sarah's room, or we're in Sarah's room.
I think you probably left at this point. Yeah,
We've
she's
just been
gone.
sitting there for 2 hours.
I've
I think
been in there crying for 2 hours.
I think we are probably in the secret room in the Fellguard that gives us instructions on how to win.
Oh yeah,
That's
the instruction
right. Yeah,
room.
we went there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys are there, and the voice above you goes, "Just roll better."
Okay.
It's like the annoying on Baldur's Gate whenever you miss an attack and your guardian is like, that won't work. Try something else.
Exactly.
How much time do we have until we have to go meet Kashar again?
Probably like less than an hour.
We have to go meet
Everything's
Kashar
less than
again.
an hour. Okay, I think we need to have a game plan.
Can't
Before we
even
go
go to
into
the
this?
library.
No, we don't have time to go to the library, okay? You've read enough books. Whatever we need, we
You've
should
read
have by
enough
now.
books. You're done.
You've had
You've
your
got
share.
all the knowledge.
There's a lifetime limit for books, and you've met it.
You hit it.
It's time to admit that you have a problem with books.
Stop
Why don't you do
imagining
normal
things.
Intervention. We need to figure out how we're gonna approach this meeting. Is Pepper gonna be back in time for this meeting?
They better be.
I really hope they are. I feel like playing hooky for our first meeting as champions is really not gonna go well. I don't know. What do you guys think?
How do we want to approach this meeting?
We listen as much as possible. We ask questions. We don't let anything on.
Do we know what it's even gonna be about?
Nope.
Great. Okay. Yeah. I guess that's what we're gonna do.
We are, I've spent a lot of time at the mercy of other people the last few years. I feel the same way right now. I don't like this feeling of helplessness. We have too many questions, a lot of information. Some of it might be the answer to one of the questions, but we have no way of knowing which answers go with which questions.
I guess
Yeah,
we just get more answers.
but you know what? At the end of the day, we have each other, and that's what we can count on.
When did you become such a sappy
I
shit?
don't know. Leave me alone. I'm kidding.
No, Xeris,
I'm
Okay,
trying,
you're
okay?
you're doing great.
me
I
trying.
appreciate it. You're doing very well. I appreciate it. I don't know what made you decide to start opening your heart to us, but if Pepper were here, they would be losing their mind right now. Okay? So this is a safe space.
Do you know what? I think I want to go find Pepper. It just doesn't feel right that they're not with us right now. And yeah, I guess we could wait here. They're going to come back eventually, but why do that when we could walk towards them instead?
You want to crash a lunch party?
No, we'll just wait outside.
Oh, come on. We could totally crash that lunch
Could be
party.
nice to crash. It was a nice restaurant.
We don't have to kick the door down or anything, but we can just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're champions. Do we need reservations? I think not.
No. If
Let's,
the lead actress can do whatever she wants, we can do whatever we want, right?
Well,
No,
Right? Is that how
I've
this
given
is?
them too much power. My God, what have I done?
Uh,
All right, so the three of you head out, walking
Pepper.
towards the Gilded Griffin. I assume that they told you information about where they were going before leaving.
right
After-
now,
I
would
complained.
hope so.
I complained excessively about this restaurant that I know next to nothing about.
You guys arrive outside the restaurant just in time to see Pepper and Maureen, an air genasi, walk out the front door. And Pepper, you're finishing up a story. What do you say?
Then I found 5 gold.
Oh, and then I picked up the wine and I said, Calland, you need more of this? And everybody laughed.
She lets out this like
Everybody
hearty.
cheered.
She lets out this hearty laugh, and upon seeing your friend, sort of like like straightens herself up a little bit, and then says, "Well, Pepper, it's been lovely catching up with you.
Nope, actor voice. Turn it off.
Fine. I'd love it if you would come for dinner sometime soon this week."
Yeah, I don't really know what my schedule as the champion looks like, but I'll reach out
Okay,
for sure.
I'll be looking forward to it. Excuse me. And she walks past Xeris, Voxy, and Oliver, and you see as she goes over to a cart that's waiting out front, and she climbs inside a carriage, and the horse walks off. Xeris, Voxy, Pepper, Oliver, you're all together.
That wasn't as terrible as you thought it would be.
A lot less painful than you made it out to be.
Oh no, it was very painful. But I think it will get better.
Well, that's one of us who had a great interaction today.
No,
Good.
not. Oh, I just like
Felt
unpacked
better.
I just unpacked all of my childhood trauma, and got like, a little bit of relief, but like, the knowledge that years of damage will have to be undone. But I am excited to go completely turn that off and deal with a very worse problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could I say something?
Yeah.
I have this feeling things are gonna get really complicated really soon. And I know that there's a lot of uncertainty facing us right now. I would like to speak a certainty into the group. I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'm here. And I'm sorry
like
that
we were gonna let you go anywhere.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm sorry for the last several days. It was not very breakfast company of me.
It's not very cash money of you, Oliver.
But whatever it is that's in front of us going forward, they're going to have to get through all 4 of us. Promise.
Hey, if Kashar really is, part of this whole thing, making us champions is going to be the biggest mistake he ever made.
Damn right.
Wait, guys, we are the breakfast champions. Oh, gang, that is the new name.
Yeah. Oh, that's very good.
Oh no! Every breakfast we eat is the breakfast of champions.
Champions.
It's the breakfast of breakfast champions.
Oh,
Boom, baby.
guys, it's like it was
Yeah.
meant to be.
We
Oh,
could make a lot of money off the marketing of this, can't we?
yeah.
Yeah, Oliver, do you think that's a great idea?
I'm just happy to be here.
You guys think we get a pay raise? Foxy, do we get a pay raise?
Are you guys getting paid?
Hey, wait a minute. We haven't gotten paid for any of the shit we've done this last week.
We gotta
Fuck you guys.
Maybe that's what this
Accounting.
meeting's about, is finally getting paid.
getting our pay rate.
Well, we should turn it into that, I think.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
probably a good idea.
Like,
Yeah,
go along
'cause-
with whatever bullshit is asked of us, but also, like, get money, get paid.
Yeah, yeah. Guys, I think this means that we all get to move into the castle together and be like neighbors. Am I the only one who's excited about? Never mind. It's done. It's
I'm
done.
just excited. I'm,
No, I'm excited. I was just thinking
What
about
a
how I
muted
needed
reaction.
I needed 2 bedrooms for talent.
sorry. It occurred. I haven't owned a bed in 5 years.
What?
I've been living in inns for the last 5 years.
Oh, I thought you meant you had not slept in a bed for 5 years, and I was so
Yeah.
concerned.
Well, not for more than 3 nights in a row.
To be fair, I also have not owned a bed in 5 years. I haven't owned shit. I just borrow it.
I've just been in apprentice housing, so mine's like mine's basically a jail cell without the bars. So
It's at this point you all realize
It's gonna
that
be
it's
an
starting
upgrade.
to get a little bit later, and you need to head over towards the Fellguard for the meeting. Taking some time to make your way, chatting along the way, you arrive in front of the Fellguard Guild Hall with those banners that are up in front of it that say "Welcome back." You walk inside and you go through the main hall, going up to the leader of the Fellguard's office. You open the door and you are greeted by Steward Zuri, who says he is expecting you, please. And she opens the door and ushers you in, and you can see that Kashar is standing over a large table, and on that table is a map of the dueling serpents. And he says, "Good, come on in." And he gestures down at the map. You can see that there is a bunch of red dots that are spread out across the dueling serpents. And he goes, "From what our intel suggests, these points are bases, or at the very least meeting points, for the children of Orcus. But that's not necessarily why I have called you for here. We've done some digging, and there's something that's been irking me. The spells that they were using on the night of the funeral seemed very high level. Something that can only be attained through either theft or, at the bare minimum, would cost a lot of money. And he points his finger down, and it lands on the city of Basin Crest. It's a tower that is atop a large plateau. And he goes, "The four of you ever been to Basin Crest?"
I stopped there on the book tour.
Well, for the others, it is a magical mecca, for lack of a better term. The city itself used to be over near Dawnspire, but when Dawnspire began growing more and more powerful, it tried to leave to go to a different place. The mages cast a teleportation spell on the entire city and brought it over down to the Amber Coast. Literally, the plateau it sits upon is the earth that was beneath it. And since then, it has grown in power and in scope, and it is the house of the Arcane Alliance. I believe the Children of Orcus have been working with someone within the Alliance. And that's how they were able to pull off their attack that they dealt towards us a week ago. So thoughts, what do we have?
Have you spoken to Lucien Fierro?
Yes, I
about
did.
this?
Lucian's a dear friend of mine. We, back when I left the Fellguard years ago, he and I worked together as mercenaries for some time, and now that he is up with the Alliance, he's aware of the situation, and I told him that we'd be sending some champions down to see if they can hunt down what's happening. He assures me that everything seems to be in order, but I think that there's something fishy under the surface. Something he's missing.
So we go to Basin Crest, and we're investigating the Arcane Alliance.
Not necessarily the Arcane Alliance, but we're trying to see if someone within the Alliance was part of this plot. Now, to my knowledge, Lucien Fierro has given us pretty clear access to a lot of points within Basin Crest. You'll be acting almost as like a champion's tour, going in and just make sure your faces are seen, that kind of thing. How do we feel about the plan?
I
Yeah.
think the next sounds like the reasonable next
Yeah.
step to take.
Yeah.
Kashar, what do you know of the Children of Orcus?
To my knowledge, they seem to be a thorn in our side that we can't get rid of. Something that's not going to absolutely cripple us, but something that is painful enough to be noticed.
Have you ever, like, personally dealt with the Children of Orcus? I mean, save, the attack and more recently.
No, I haven't come across them in my travels.
Jordan, I would love to insight check that statement.
Sure.
Okay. Pepper, please come through.
Oh, wait, that's actually really good. Oh, wait. Insight. 24.
Nice. He is being truthful when he tells you that he's never come across them. Obviously,
Right, but
outside
they
of the
said-
attack.
Yeah, but they said letters. Okay. All right. Cool.
And if we find what we're looking for, how do you want us to deal with it?
Well, you're champions. You deal with it as you see fit. You have the ability
All right.
to make your own contracts. If you need to take care of business, you do so at your discretion.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, we'll try to
Mm-hmm.
get the information, and we will go from there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. When do we leave?
Soon as possible. We need to get you on a cart over there pronto. I assume we don't want to take the John Tech anymore.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
I think we're
no.
good.
I heard about that mishap. That I'm glad you got it all sorted.
What will you be working on here?
I'm going to try and clean up what I can after the attack. Try to reinforce our guild contracts here. I'm going to open back up the hunting. I'm sure that there's some monster in some small town that's hunting down people, and we just need to make sure that folks across the Dueling Serpents know that we are here, and we are here to save them and protect them.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh.
thank you very much, Kashar, sir. We will get our things sorted out, ready to go, and then we will find ourselves a cart.
Wonderful. Grab your things when you finish up. Either send a letter or come find me at the guild hall. And Oliver, like I said,
Yes.
handle it. He goes back to his desk and he sits down.
I'm just looking at Oliver like, the fuck does that mean?
All right,
Well,
everybody.
okay. Thanks, Kashar. It was great talking to you. I hope that all of your contracts and things go very well. And someday we'll all get to drink and laugh about how stressful this time was all together. Goodbye.
Okay. Pepper. I'm just gonna grab their hand and just come on.
Or you all
Um,
step out. What's going through everyone's heads right now?
I am very sus that he just kicked out the new champions and then is sending us away immediately. So that there are no champions gonna be there. And I'm very curious as to what handle it means.
Xeris, what's going through your head?
I guess a little of the same, feeling a bit like a scapegoat of sorts. Like we're basically being kind of, even if it's like we're being sent away to get us out of Dawnspire, but maybe we're just being sent somewhere to be basically set up to be blamed for all of this. And then also his explanation for the Children of Orcus made absolutely no sense and was vague as fuck. So everyone else we've asked has said more specific things than he did. So
Pepper?
I'm thinking about how if Kashar is still a champion, or if he was the head of the Fellguard when I was working for Vergalath, this man would have killed me.
Interesting. Oliver?
I get the distinct feeling that he wants us to be a weapon that he can turn on people to keep them quiet. So if he wants us to hunt down whoever's in the Arcane Alliance, my feeling is we should like hunt them down, but like get info. I don't know. I feel very much like he's expecting us to just go on a rampage. And that sounds messy.
Certainly does.
And I don't like how readily I did that last night.
Mm.
And I'm gonna try really hard to remember that night when we go to Basin Crest.
All right. Well, you all have your strong opinions of what just went down inside the Fellguard leader's office. But now you have your orders. And you know where you need to go. You're heading to the home of the Arcane Alliance, the magical city that was moved. You're heading to Basin Crest. Breakfast champions, away!
Yeah, by the shaft of our spoon.
All right, folks, we have been PSL Comedy. This has been the Fellguard. If you enjoyed any part of this, please consider giving us a follow. That way you can be notified the next time that we go live. And if you'd like to help support us in another way, please consider subscribing, because it does so much to help small streamers like ourselves. If you'd like to see more of this, visit our YouTube channel. We got the first 2 episodes of Season 2 up there now, so go check them out. There's some really cool stuff in there, and maybe some Easter eggs that I planted early on that these dummies missed. Tee-hee. Too-hoo. All right.
So rude.
I am. I'm such a bad person.
You're saying we have to rewatch everything to figure out what you have planned?
Who knows? All right, folks. I have been Jordan Tries. This has been the Fellguard, and I hope you have a absolutely wonderful evening. We'll see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. I have so many games. I have to keep track of them in my head. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night.